Welcome in to Cold Brews and Hot Takes this beautiful, beautiful Monday afternoon. I'm your host, Josh. Yes, that's right, the afternoon. Been a very, very rough morning. Time changes, Halloween hangovers, and of course, fantasy football hangover. So, on the other side, we'll break down who was good, who was bad, and who to prepare for your Monday night matchup. So, with that being said, let's get it started.
You're watching Cold Brews and Hot Takes, only on Fantasy Now Plus.
Yes. We do have a afternoon show today for everyone that was waiting for me at 9 a.m. as usual. It again, Halloween hangover. Times have changed. I prefer this time zone. I know I'm in the minority. I prefer it darker earlier. I prefer it brighter earlier. That's just me. I'm a psychopath. But welcome to Cold Brews and Hot Takes. Good morning, Charlene. It is the morning over on the West Coast. So, all you West Coasters out there, grab your cold brew. Do not drink your iced coffee. If you have iced coffee, dump it in the trash, throw it in the disposal, whatever you got, your sink. Don't even give it to your worst enemy. Iced coffee is nothing but just burnt hot coffee on ice. It's trash. So, with that being said, we are going to get some trash players out of the way, some great players out of the way. But as always, guys, make sure you check our website, fantasynowplus.com, where you can find our rankings, waivers, articles, and more. Make sure you join our Discord, which is popping off lately, chat.fantasynowplus.com. And of course, if you're watching on the Fins Talk Sports Network, we appreciate you. You can click on over to Fantasy Now Plus, of course. But of course, if you're still watching on Fins Talk Sports Network, we love you as well. There you can find all the Miami Dolphins information you need. All right. Pour one out for Tucker Kraft. Maybe some of that iced coffee. Don't disrespect Tucker Kraft with iced coffee. Make sure you dump out the good stuff. What's going on, Jamie? Yes, we had a crazy weekend of football. We had some wild games. The Chicago game stands out to me as obviously the most crazy game of the weekend. We had some important matchups. Buffalo Bills went face to face, head to head, toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But first, let's get some injuries out of the way. The biggest one of the weekend, I woke up to it because I didn't see Jaden Daniels. In some chats, I read RIP Jaden Daniels. In some chats, I read he's out for the season. In some chats, I read this is RG3 all over again. I know it's noon. I haven't had a chance to get into it deeply to see what went on. I just heard that he is out. Marcus Mariota will step in, of course, for probably the rest of the season. And then that offense should be humming per usual, as in not as good as you expect, but Jaden Daniels at the helm. He is a talented, awesome young quarterback, of course, that's taken a sophomore slump, whether it be to injuries to his offense, injuries to himself, or just things aren't bouncing the way they did in 2024. Jaden Daniels is still viable in Dynasty, but this season probably out for the rest of the year. Charlene and Justin will have more on that tomorrow during the waivers show. CJ Stroud took a massive hit, concussion protocol. He left the game, did not come back. Davis Mills, who I forgot played football, stepped in. He is the backup quarterback there in Houston. Once upon a time, the first ever Scott Fishbowl Live draft in Orlando, we saw Davis Mills being drafted in the third round once upon a time. And that wasn't too long ago, guys. It wasn't too long ago. So if you're in need for quarterbacks next week, Davis Mills could step in. Aaron Jones left with a shoulder injury, of course. He is old. So old. That's what us old people do. We get hurt. He ran 9 times for 78 yards, caught 2 for 20. Just keep a lookout for that. Jordan Mason obviously is going to step in if Aaron Jones misses time. Matthew Golden. If a tree falls in the woods and nobody heard it, does it still make a sound? Matthew Golden left the game with the shoulder injury. It is what it is. Kayshon Boutte, hamstring, ungood. I think around 1:30, 1:45, I looked at my lineups. I'm like, oh, Booty's out. Did I miss this update? Did I miss that he's inactive? Nope. Just got hurt. A cornucopia of wide receivers for Drake May to throw the ball all over the field to, including Demario Douglas, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry. So if you start a Keyshawn Booty, I'm sure you can go get Demario Douglas as well. Terry McLaurin quad injury. It's just been a season of hell. Let's not sugarcoat it. A season for hell. From hell for Terry McLaurin and the Washington Commanders. Puka Nacua, chest injury, but could have went back in if they needed him. So not too worried. And the biggest news of the weekend, Tucker Kraft, ACL, the dream is over. We can no longer celebrate Tucker Kraft and all the goodness for the remainder of 2025. We will be saddened and miss his time. We need someone to step up because Jordan Love ain't going to do it by himself. So I don't know who's going to step up. I don't know who's going to step in, but Tucker Kraft was their most reliable and consistent pass catcher on that offense. I don't know what this offense is going to look like without Tucker Kraft. But more on that tomorrow, Tuesday, Charlene and Justin. Let's get right into it. Cream of the crop. These are the best players of the week. And, of course, I'm going to sprinkle in a couple people I want to talk about. First things being first, Caleb Williams. He's up and he's down. He's hot and he's cold. People love him. People hate him. He's probably the most confusing quarterback to roster in fantasy and in real life because half the people don't like him. Half the people love him. He could run. He could scramble. Ben Johnson wants timing and precision. It just seems like a clash between head coach and quarterback. But on this day, November 2nd, 2025, Caleb Williams definitely showed out. He went 20 for 34, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, 53 yards on the ground, 36.7 fantasy points. He even caught a touchdown. He caught 2 passes, by the way. He caught more passes. He got 2 more passes than Roma Dunze. So good on you, Caleb Williams. DJ Moore throwing that touchdown, that trick play. More on that later. Joe Flacco, Mr. Joe Flacco, Mr. Can't stop, won't stop. People were making fun of him. Why do you think you can contribute? Well, I think I can, yada, yada, yada. Well, he does it again, 31 for 47, 470 yards. Makes T. Higgins look like a superstar like he should. Jamar Chase still doing his thing with Joe Flacco. This offense is night and day with Mr. Jacob Browning and Mr. Joe Flacco. If you can handle these shootouts, if you're going to get into shootouts, then, of course, Joe Flacco is going to be your guy because he's out there slinging it. It doesn't matter what that defense does. Jackson Dart, 27.2 fantasy points. And I feel like his games are the most frustrating to watch because he's not throwing for 300. He's not throwing 4 touchdowns. Like, he's getting it done with the bare minimum. And honestly, he has the least amount of work with probably any quarterback in the league minus Cam Ward. He's got Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton out there, Theo Johnson. It's not like he's got superstars to throw to. He went 24 for 33, 191, 2 touchdowns, 56 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. That's where he's going to be making his money, on the ground, as he is super quick, and they do design runs for him. He is, I guess, I'm not going to say Daniel Dimes, but with a better arm because Jones is proving that he can throw the ball this year. But he's definitely an upgrade at the quarterback position they had in the previous 4 years. Jackson Dart just keeps on getting it done. Since taking over in week 5, he's been the quarterback 3 since taking over. So since week 5, he's a quarterback 3 behind Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, averaging 23.5 fantasy points per game. He is an instant start. Set it and forget it. You don't need to worry about Jackson Dart. He just gets it. Imagine when he does get a superstar back like Malik Neighbors. Just imagine what he's going to be able to do. Happy National Sandwich Day to you too, Zach. I'm going to have in the chat below, what is your favorite sandwich? If we're going subs, I go meatball subs. If I go sandwich, which no one should have this answer outside of the state of Florida or Cuba, or maybe possibly like Texas or California. Cuban sandwiches. By far, 101 of all sandwiches. If you don't, I've been to other states and have had Cuban sandwiches. They don't taste the same outside of Florida. I never had one in Texas and California, but I can say this: if you're outside of the great state of Florida and you've had a Cuban sandwich, you haven't had a real one. Because every time I get one outside of this state, it's ungood. So Cuban sandwich, if you want one, come to Florida. They're amazing. I don't know how we got on the sandwiches, but we did. Oh, National Happy Sandwich Day. Sam Darnold keeps on being Sam Darnold. 21 for 24, 334 touchdowns, 1 interception. Remember when he had 2 bad games in a row to end the season last year and people thought Sam Darnold was done? It's okay to have a bad game or 2, guys. It just happened to come at the worst time possible, but he has changed things for the better. As we see, he is now clearly a very, very good quarterback moving forward. Just wanted to point that out. Only 3 incompletions last night against Washington. Is grilled cheese a sandwich? Yeah, for sure. So is a hot dog. Give me peanut butter and sardine. Jamie, come on, bro. Dude, that's awful. That is awful. But I respect your sandwich preference, but that's awful. I wouldn't even feed that to my cat. Sardines and peanut butter? You might be a psychopath, my friend, but I love you. You just might be a psychopath. It's okay. It's all right. All right, running backs on the week. Rico Dowdle. So I say, hey, one of my ex-girlfriends, she used to put sunflower seeds in her soup. People do the weirdest things, brother. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, running backs. Rico Dowdle, 28.1, had 25 carries to Hubbard's 5. Rico Dowdle, they weren't kidding when they said he's going to get the bulk amount of carries. Right there, 25-5. He has 130 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Rico Dowdle has just turned fantasy upside down. You thought you had something in Chuba Hubbard. You thought you had something in Jonathan Brooks 2 years ago. The real answer was Rico Dowdle, 28.1 fantasy points. Since week 5, only 3 running backs have averaged more than 20 fantasy points a game. And those 3 running backs are CMC, Jonathan Taylor, and Rico Dowdle. Stud. All right. This one will become a shock to nobody. It's the first time, I think, don't get this wrong. I know I already ruffle feathers with the most of the fantasy community. I know that. I know. I'm not dumb. I know most people watching this right now do not like me, which is fine. 900 subs, by the way. Thank you to all those people who sub to the Fantasy Now channel. But this is the one time where X and Blue Sky and all the social media analysis people like myself can celebrate because we finally got one right. You know, we always tout the lovely guys like this. Kyle Monungai finally broke out. Everybody wanted this to happen since the preseason. We've been talking about him since day one. He was one of those darlings who are like, oh, he has no competition and it's just Swift. Roshan Johnson's not a thing, so Kyle Monungai is going to be a thing. And usually these guys get swept under the rug. We laugh at those people who say these guys are going to break out and then nothing happens. Just go see Ronald Jones. Just go see Laviska Shenault. Like all this stuff happens because of the hype. He had it. And this is what happens when you give this guy 26 carries in a Ben Johnson offense. This is what we wanted. Finally, we were all right about something. Like this is the one guy I feel like, the one training camp darling, the one preseason darling that popped off for once. And it feels great. It feels great because I started him. You started him. We all started him. Hit 26 carries. That's amazing. 176 on the ground, 22 yards in the air. Did not score a touchdown on the ground. We wanted to see that, but come on. We can't be greedy, guys. We cannot be greedy. I hope this guy eats into Swift's yardage. I hope it becomes a Sonic and Knuckles situation like they had in Detroit because that's what Ben Johnson wants. That would be phenomenal. So Kyle Monungai, I'm glad that 1, I could pronounce his name, and 2, that he went off and we're all right together for once. Moaning guy. I said it right, Jamie. It's because of you. You told me Monungai. And I thought about you all day yesterday, Jamie, when he was going nuts. I really did. Ashton Genty, 19.9 fantasy points. Just the most boring 19.9 fantasy points you could achieve. 13 for 42, 5 catches, 47 yards, 1 touchdown in the air. Just slow and steady, get you the points, get you the volume. Why can't he get 26 carries? Why can't he get 26 carries? Trevion Henderson, he finally got the full backload, right? He got it all. There was no Ramondre Stevenson tearing this guy down. This was everyone's shot to see what is Trevion Henderson going to do when he has all the backfield, when he has all the carries, when he has everything. He should get 26 carries, just like Mr. Kyle Manungai. Oh, wait, I forgot. They have a Terrell Jennings problem. Terrell Jennings, from the top rope, 11 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown. Man, we're all in. Everyone's starting Henderson. He's in everyone's DFS lineup. He's in everyone's season lineup. He's ready to go. We finally have this guy in a lock. Ramondre Stevenson cannot ruin your day. Kind of did. 12.7 fantasy points for Henderson. Pretty good. Can't complain. But Jennings, man, why? Why? What is their obsession? What is their obsession with ruining our dreams? It's at this point, it's not a Bill Belichick situation. It's a New England Patriots practice. Every day when they start their operations, they boot up their computers. Their mission statement is no running back should be elite here. We should all just be mid forever. That's what it reads on their little tagline. I don't get it. I'll never get it. Start Terrell Jennings, or not start him, but play him half the time. 6 foot inches, 217 pound Terrell Jennings, born March 1st, 2001, from Duval, went to Florida A&M, had 18 total carries in 2025. You know what? 18 total carries last year against 2025. You know what? He had 18 carries in 2024. Apologize. So yesterday they decided, you know what? Let's almost match that in one day and give him 11. I'm not going to cuss. I'll just never effing understand New England in their running back situation. I never will for the life of me. But hopefully better days ahead. Maybe one day Henderson can get, maybe he can get, more than, how about this? More time than a undrafted, I don't know when he was drafted, Florida A&M prospect that no one ever knows who I'm just lost for words. It pisses me off. There, I said it. It pisses me off. Wide receivers, DJ Moore, out of nowhere, 23 points, 4 catches, 71 yards, threw a touchdown pass. Let's see. I would like to know his passing rate compared to Bustin Fields. Oh, he's on bye week. I'm sorry. I took a shot at Bustin Fields on a bye week. I apologize. But DJ Moore, you like to see this happen. You like to see him get involved. You don't like it to come at the cost of Rome Odunze, who had 0. You want to see them both involved, and Loveland, all of it, all at once. But if Manungai is going to ball out, DJ Moore is going to ball out, Loveland's going to ball out, someone has to, I guess, get 0. That's the rules of Chicago. JSN, the most consistent wide receiver on the season. You can't argue. You can't tell me any different. Maybe not the most dominant, but I think he is because of who he plays with and his team and yada, 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 his target share. He's controlling the Seahawks yardage, but he's definitely the most consistent. He has 0 games this year of single digits or less. I guess you can get less with 0. I don't know why I wrote that out wrong. The only current top 12 receivers without a single-digit week on their stat line this year. That means weeks 1 through, I think we're in 9 now. That means these players have had double-digit points in every single game this week. There's only 3 in the top 12. JSN, Puka Nacua, Justin Jefferson. That's the list. That is the list. And with those 3, those are the most 3 consistent receivers in the league. When Puka's in and Puka dominates, he's the best. When JJ plays, of course, we know he's the most. He's the alpha receiver in the whole league. And then JSN, he's just becoming the most consistent, viable option for Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. So glad to see it happen. He's going to easily finish top 5 this year. Good to see it happen. On the other side of JSN, we have Torrey Horton out of nowhere, 4 catches, 48 yards, 4 targets, 2 touchdowns. Just keep that in mind. They try to get him involved early on in the season. But again, it's the JSN show and nobody else. It really is. Rashee Rice. Do we need to talk about Rashee Rice again? Do we? Do we need to talk about, since returning in week 7, he's been the wide receiver 2 with 22.4 points per game. Only Jamar Chase is above him. Can we talk about how we're not going to brag about this? I'm done. I can't do it every week, guys. I will lose more viewers. Trust me. People want to see me down bad. I understand that. But listen to me, guys. Rashee Rice is the best receiver on the best offense with the best quarterback on the best team. I know they lost to Buffalo. I understand that. Well, congratulations. You won a regular season game. You do it all the time. Rashee Rice will continue to get the 7 targets a game. He will continue to score touchdowns. He will continue to put up 18-plus points a game. I was offered a trade in Dynasty. I was receiving Jamar Chase and Cam Scatterboo, but I was giving up Rashee Rice and Jahmyr Gibbs. Seems fair on surface, but it's really not, because I had the balls to say, look, you're wrong. Rashee Rice is not close to Cam Scatterboo whatsoever. Rashee Rice is more in the Jamar Chase tier, where Cam Scatterboo is so far down the list. He's not even close to Rashee Rice. Most people would have smash accepted that offer because they see Cam Scatterboo, new funness, new toys, right? If you want to get Jamar Chase on your roster, I don't blame you for that. But at the end of the day, people need to understand Rashee Rice is in that tier. He is in that tier. He's been in that tier. The only person telling you that is me, and I'm the only person who has the guts to tell you it and rank him that way. He's in that tier, people. Start treating him that way. Rashee Rice is a monster, and he is a menace. Parker Washington, Will's boy. We all love Will. I love Will. He likes to get on me about some things. But Parker Washington, 17 points. I think it was Will. It was either Will or Pudge. 8 catches, 90 yards on 9 targets. In week 13 last season, he also went nuts. He had 6 catches, 103, 1 touchdown. That was his last effective game. So he's good for 1 a year. But we just got to see if Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. Travis Hunter's out for an extended period of time. We got to see if Brian Thomas Jr. is going to return to what he was, and if he can get through these injuries. If not, Parker Washington is someone we're going to look at. Keep in mind, Charlene and Justin will talk about them tomorrow, of course. All right, I'm going to wrap up the good guys real quick because the tight ends, it is what it is. Brock Bowers. There was a question on the Showdown show. Should I start Brock Bowers or X? The answer is always Brock Bowers. I hope we never get this question again. 12 for 127, 3 touchdowns, 13 targets. He is him. He is the one. I love Trey McBride, but he is the one. He truly is. Colston Loveland broke out, 29.8 fantasy points. He had that ginormous 58-game winning catch with 25 seconds left. I walked, so I'm in the room where I was watching the game, and I'm like, oh, this game's over. Yada, yada, yada. I go into the bathroom for whatever reason, and I hear Loveland. The announcer's going nuts. Everyone's going nuts. I had to run out, whatever. I don't know what I was doing. I was just going to the bathroom for some reason. Come out here, go, Loveland, you mother effer. Where was this all season long? If we see this week in, week out, he's finally going to break out the way we all wanted him to be. His usage is going up. He started with 41.3% usage in week 6. Now he's up to 81% usage. That is tremendous. Cole Kmet being out surely does help with that. He had a career high in targets and catches. He had 116 yards coming into the game. He ended this game with 118. He had more yards this game than he had all season. So Colston Loveland, this is your breakout kid. Want to see some more of it. And Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta, and Aronde Gatson to round up the tight ends crushed it. Gatson's for real. He's the real deal. 5 catches, 68 yards. He's not going to be stopped. He's really taken over the Keenan Allen role. Keenan only had 2 catches this weekend. Gatson is really, really taken over. And hate to say it because I traded him away for Judkins in a dynasty league, which I'm okay with. But Gatson looks like he's going to be a real deal Holyfield. He's the number 1 tight end since week. Didn't write it win, but when he took over, he has 71.7 fantasy points in that time frame. McBride needs 21.2 tonight to beat him out, to become the top tight end since Gatson broke out, which I think was week 5. So McBride could do that. McBride's a stud. Speaking of tonight's game, you know what? We'll get into that later. We're going to go into some shitty players. Sorry, Justin. We're going to go into some terrible players. We won't spend too much time on them. I traded Gaston for a 2027 first, so now I only have 17 shares left. I drafted Gatson all I could. So my fourth or third round picks were either Gatson, Dylan Sampson, or Dylan Gabriel. That's the three players I was targeting. Gatson I couldn't get as many times as I wanted to because I rostered McBride everywhere. So I'm not going to prioritize a tight end. I was a McBride guy since the day one. All right, here's the bad players. And I'll go really quick because I hate going through bad players. Cam Ward. Good night, brother. Cam Ward is bad. Cam Ward is unbelievable. Can you believe this? I'll name his name. I'll name this guy's name because none of you guys will know who he is. But if he's watching or if a friend of his is watching, Marco Balsamo once told me, and I've been playing in the league with this guy for years, he told me a couple of weeks ago, Dak Prescott and Cam Ward are equal values, if not more, as Cam Ward might hold more value. I was told this is a real life situation. I was told Cam Ward equals Dak Prescott or better. This to me shows how uneducated he is personally about fantasy football and dynasty in general. Just because a player is younger doesn't mean he's more valuable. I have to explain this all the time to people. That being said, Cam Ward's just bad. He's just completely bad at football. 12 for 21, 145, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So that's a positive. I had to look and compare him to one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play. That's Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen is one of the worst quarterbacks I think I've ever seen play football. So I looked at Josh Rosen's first 8 games, and I'm going to compare him to Mr. Cameron Ward. In this first 8 weeks of football of Josh Rosen's career, he had a 54.8% completion percentage. Cam Ward is sitting at 57.6. Cam Ward's a little bit better. Congratulations. In the first 8 weeks of Josh Rosen's career, he had 1,416 career passing yards. Cam Ward is sitting at 1,760. Congratulations. You edged him out, buddy. Congratulations. You're doing really good. Touchdowns. Josh Rosen had 9. Cam Ward has 5. Need to work on that a little, buddy. Need to work on that. Interceptions. Josh Rosen had 10. Cam Ward had 6. Okay. All right. You're being protective of the football. In the passer rating, Josh Rosen 66.3, Cam Ward 72.1. Why do I bring this up? It's unfair, right? It's unfair. Different situations, different teams, different eras, different quarterbacks, different styles, different roles, different everything. It's hard for me to get behind a quarterback who struggles this early on for this long. Zach Wilson went through the same thing. Josh Rosen, Trey Lance, even Justin Fields, but for some reason he still gets jobs. I don't know why. When you see a stat line, Bryce Young, which we'll get to him soon. When you see a stat line 12 for 21 in today's NFL, you're doing something wrong. It's the league is made for you to score 40 points. The league is made for you to throw for 250 yards a game, even if you're bad. Oh, he doesn't have weapons. Talk to a wall. Jackson Dart doesn't have weapons. Oh, he's not set up as well as Jackson Dart. Talk to a wall. He was the number 1 pick out of college. Oh, he doesn't. Again, he's not in the same division as Philadelphia, Washington, Dallas. He plays bums. What's Cam Ward's excuse? I'm over it. I'm done talking about it. This guy is no longer on any of my trade radars in Dynasty, and he has zero value. So Cam Ward, I'm sorry to go off on you, young man. You need to step it up. Bryce Young, he has 4 points, 11 for 20, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, 4 of his 8 games, he's been quarterback 25 or worse. Half your games, you're not even a quarterback 2, buddy. He's hard to start. I hear people tell me he's stepping up his game, which he might be. He won the game yesterday. But not for your fantasy football team. Jahmyr Gibbs, 5.8 points this week. Just ungood. He only has 2 games over 100 total yards this season. It feels like it's a down, like from his ADP standpoint, he's letting you down, but he's still the running back 8 on the season, so you can't really hate on him too much. Jonathan Taylor had a down game, 7.7, whatever, 14 for 45. He's going to have games like that. He can't score 3 touchdowns every single week. And Woody Marks, people love Woody Marks. 2.7. Inconsistency is going to happen all season. 2.7. Just keep that in mind when trading for or starting Woody Marks. He's very, I guess, game script heavy, as I would say. They were in that game the whole time. They had no use to dump it down to him. Well, they should have. All right. Wide receivers that stunk. Troy Franklin, 8.3, but he did lead the Broncos in targets. He had 10. RJ Harvey led that team in receiving yards, 5 for 51, 1 touchdown. I'm sorry, that was on the ground. He had 4 for 27. Xavier Worthy, 7 targets. Back to your gadget roll, buddy. Rasheed Rice is here. Roma Dunze, 3 targets, 0 catches. DK Metcalf, 2 catches, 6 yards off 4 targets. Second single-digit game this season. It's been bad. George Kittle was ungood, and Tyler Warren has finally disappointed as Daniel Jones turned the ball over 5 times. Just 5 for 26 for Mr. Tyler Warren. Nightcap, what do you need? What do you need to secure a win for your fantasy football game tonight? How do you improve? Do you need Dak Prescott to score 32 points? Do you need Trey McBride? Sound off, drop it in the chat below because I need to know. My games are all pretty much set up. I've either lost everything or I won everything. I have no stake going into tonight. Tonight, I can watch the game as a fan and just enjoy the game. No pressure whatsoever. I had a very bad week for fantasy, but still no pressure. I can't lose anymore tonight. Dak Prescott, he's 5-1 on Monday Night Football, 234 yards. He averages through the air. He has a 14 touchdown, 2 interception ratio on Monday Night Football. He has been quarterback 1 5 out of 7 games this season. Dak Prescott is QB1. He is everything that he's advertised to be. He's an instant auto start tonight. On the other side, Kyler Murray's not playing. Jacoby Brissett has stepped in, and the Cardinals have looked great with Jacoby Brissett. Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison have been excelling since he's joined the team or since he's taken over the reins. A lot of people are speculating this is not a Kyler Murray is injured, so he can't play because he's hurt. It's just Jacoby Brissett's been playing better, so we're benching Kyler Murray. That's the rumors out there. That's the rumors. Battlefield 6 is out or whatever. I don't play that game, but I'm sure Kyler's enjoying it somewhere. CD Lamb tonight. He is a wide receiver 41 going into the night. Of course, he's missed some time. He's averaging 15 points per game. Take away week 3 where he ran 3 routes. He's averaging 10.5 targets a game. He only has 1 touchdown this season. He has been phenomenal despite his rankings because of either injury time or because this next guy has lit the world on fire. George Pickens. George Pickens is the wide receiver 5. Let me repeat that. George Pickens is the wide receiver 5 currently, averaging 18.4 fantasy points a game. He's on pace for 1,455 yards and 91 catches, all career highs, especially his touchdowns as well. He's cooled off since CD's return. He hasn't scored a touchdown since CD returned, and Pickens also scored a touchdown in weeks 2 through 6. So that could pick up tonight again. George Pickens has been a major upgrade to the wide receiver 2 position. Heck, he might even be their wide receiver 1. Javonte Williams is a must start tonight. This is what we wanted out of North Carolina when he was drafted. He did get that knee injury, which kind of ruined the better half of his first half of his career. When Javonte scores at least 1 touchdown this season, he finishes running back 14 or better. He scored 6 out of 8 weeks this year. So he scored a touchdown in 6 out of 8 weeks this year. 3 of those weeks were multi-touchdown games. So they do use him when they get in close at the goal line, especially the red zone area. They love Javonte Williams down there. he has been scoring at will whenever he wants. He has more 100 total yard games than Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Josh Jacobs this year. He is currently the running back 7. You're starting Javonte Williams. No doubt about it. Jake Ferguson, the tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Only 1 target last week, 0 points. Brush that under the rug. He's still the tight end 1. Jake Ferguson's going to be involved. We think. We hope. We want. Trey McBride on the other side, tight end 5 this year, 16.2 fantasy points a game. He averages more than Jake Ferguson. In the 2 weeks Brissett started, McBride has scored 21.2 and 29.4, making himself the tight end 1 by 5 points per game over that time. Gadsden is the tight end 2 in that time frame. It's only 2 weeks. But when you expect Jacoby Brissett to come in, you don't expect these massive numbers, which has happened. Marvin Harrison. I need Dak and Pickens to combine for 122 points. You got that. I also need Marv not to get negative 23 points. I think he got that as well. Marvin Harrison, wide receiver 40 on the year. He's averaging 10.8 fantasy points per game. He's the opposite of McBride kind of since Brissett came in. He's only had 8 targets, caught 4 for 90, no touchdowns. He did leave the game early, week 6, with that head injury or with that injury. So keep that in mind. He's only played 1.5 games with Brissett. Like to see that get going. And of course, Bam Knight. Last time he played, he had the bulk. He had 14 for 57. Nothing special. It seems like he is in the role with Connor out. He's out snapping everybody. They did say that Bam Knight's going to get heavily involved again tonight. So don't expect any other running back to get any kind of significant play. But even with Bam Knight, what are his expectations? What can we expect from Bam Knight? Can we expect maybe he falls into the end zone in the goal line? That's your probably best scenario for Bam Knight. He's nothing special. So that's it. That's going to do it for the show today. So I appreciate every single person watching right now, either on X, either on YouTube, whether it be Finns Talk Sports Network, whether it be Fantasy Now Plus. I'm sorry for the delayed start time. I did have a rough morning. Again, I don't know how you guys deal with the time changes, but it messes everything up. I don't know why. I don't know why us as humans can't adapt easily or a little bit more smoothly. It's just like, oh, you lost an hour, you gained an hour, so your whole week's messed up. I feel like that's what we're at right now in life. So we'll be back tomorrow with Charlene and Justin at noon for the waiver show. Catch me on the Fantasy Showdown with Justin on Wednesday as well. We have another show Wednesday night, 8 p.m. with Topher and Michael Flores. They take the rankings for our rankings and the experts' rankings and compare the two. We're live Thursday with our DFS show, Get Tilted, with Brian and Will. Friday, we're free. You're free from us Friday. We got nothing. But Saturday, we're back with our Dynasty show with Will, Dynasty in 30. And Sunday, of course, our preview show with Justin Bowerly. And the guests of his choice, while they cook up some food, maybe talk fantasy football with you as well. So we're going to get on out of here, guys. Follow me everywhere on Blue Sky. My name is Josh Kimmel for Fantasy Now Plus. It's been fun. It's been a ride. We're closing down the cafe. Peace out, guys.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.